I'm guessing that most people would be probably too embarrassed to even share this with you guys. I'm like 3 cups of coffee deep, you guys. Empty, baby. I might have bitten off more than I can chew. I guess I got bit by a bug on the way out here. So that's cute. What a cute way to start off the vlog. I already look a little bit crazy. You can really feel how our relationship has evolved over the years, because not that I don't love you enough to show up as my best self. It's just that I have a lot to do in this room today. I'm about to tackle a big project for a multitude of reasons. Let me take 4 hours to get dressed today to avoid dealing with the thing. So in order to avoid procrastination, I am coming to this not necessarily looking my best. So I just apologize. We got gray hair flying out of here. We got like some kind of bug bite pimple thing that just popped up. In all seriousness, I'm having a bit of an epiphany. I am just going with it. I'm rolling with it. I'm dealing with it. I am reading a really fantastic book right now, and it's both encouraging me and challenging me. Quickly, if you are not somebody that operates like this, then this will sound very weird to you, and you will probably be like, that sounds like you're making excuses or whatever. There is this chick that I follow on Instagram who talks a lot, and she makes like funny videos on Instagram about like reels about like living with ADD as an adult and how that manifests. And it's so many things that I feel so seen, and sometimes not in a good way. It's always nice, right, to be like, oh my gosh, it's me, you know, but then there's also times where you're like, but I don't want that to be me. Can I change that about me? At least that's how I am. I don't ever want to just settle into the idea that like, well, because I'm an adult with ADD, that means I'm just going to do blankety blank. But one of the things that she points out that I was like, oh my God, it's so me, is the piles. Look around me right now, the little bit that you can see at this point. It's the piles, okay? Piles of things, and they make sense to us. I know where things are. It's not that I have piles of stuff everywhere and I have no idea where anything is. I know, like, my brain, that's like my brain in piles all over the place, okay? So I am famous for this, and I did not realize even that I was doing it. And I make all these piles everywhere, and then I get overwhelmed by the piles because now they're all too big to deal with, and then you get the paralysis of not actually doing anything about them. So one of the things that I am addressing is that because this cabin has been such a flux space for me over the last 2 years, really. We've used it for a number of different purposes, and we're still honestly kind of like shaking out exactly what is going to be done out here homeschool wise. And one of the things though is that I have managed to turn this into like a scary in real life version of my brain. You know, I think I shared on Instagram recently that a meme that said like my brain is like you dumped out a junk drawer on a trampoline. That's what my brain feels like, and that's what this cabin is starting to feel like. I've had my nose to the grindstone for the last like 2 weeks on a big project that I'm working on, and I've let this all go. I've put on my blinders, but it's time to take off the blinders and tackle this room, this mess, and to deal with it. And now, I don't want to pick up the camera because whenever I do, it's just too shaky. So I apologize that the scenery is staying the same, but it will also not make you nauseous, so it won't feel like you're on a cruise ship. See how my brain works? Because now I want to talk to you guys about the story of the kid who jumped off the cruise ship in the Bahamas with his friends, and there's literally like a shark in the corner that you can see, and he disappears never to be seen again. It's absolutely horrifying, and I have so many like thoughts about it. Like I feel for this kid, but I also like, how can we parlay this into a lesson for our own kids about using your brain? He jumped off a boat into the dark waters at midnight in the Bahamas in shark-infested waters. And there's literally a shark in the corner of the shot. And what's really sick about the whole thing is that one of the kids, you can hear in the recording, like, this is how desensitized and heartless our youth have become because of a whole multitude of factors. But you hear a kid go, bye-bye, divert back to what we're talking about, because that will have to be a topic for another day. But that's how my brain works. I said cruise ship, and there I went. So, why did I even say cruise ship to begin with? Oh, I don't want you to feel like you're on a cruise ship with the shaking of the camera. Other people might tackle this in another way, but what I have learned about myself is that the best way for me to deal with something like this is to, quite frankly, empty the whole room and start over and putting it back together. Because if I try to just shuffle things and move things around, I end up spending so much time playing Jenga in the small space with the furniture that it wastes time, and then I get distracted by things I find along the way as I'm like digging through drawers and stuff. So it's better for me to empty it and then bring things back in very, very intentionally, one thing at a time. That is what we are doing. We'll talk along the way, but we have to get started. I'm like 3 cups of coffee deep, you guys. I'm guessing that most people would be probably too embarrassed to even share this with you guys. After this many years of sharing online, it's not that I have no shame, but I feel like what's the point if I'm just going to pretend like my life is perfect and everything's fine and my home is totally organized and great and everything's fine? No, I share the tips and the things that I share with you guys because these are things I'm learning along the way and that I'm trying very hard to implement in my own life. So for those of you who relate, I just want you to see that you are not alone and that even people who you may think have it all together, and some days I do feel like I got this together. Other times it just kind of crumbles and I'm like, okay, how can I fix this problem? And that's what life is. It's fixing problems along the way. At the end of the day, you really win the more you fail. The more you fail at things, the closer you get to the winning. So I'm going to continue to fail at things as I figure out what works for me and what doesn't. And you're just going to get to watch my failure. So if this isn't something you struggle with, then you can just enjoy this video in awe of my weirdness. Okay, making progress. I turned off the overhead light because I was sweating. I've got the air conditioning on, but the doors are having to continually be opened, obviously, to take things out. So we're making progress, people, progress. All right. Empty, baby. Day 2, in my heart, I knew this wasn't going to be a one-day thing, but I'm really happy because I've been very particular. Sorry, I feel like I have to squat down so you can see me. I've been very particular about what I'm bringing back in. So that's why, as nuts as it sounds to empty everything out, it actually helps me a lot because now I can, every item that I'm carrying back in, deciding if I really want it in here, if it really needs to be in here. I've already got a whole pile of things that I'm like, this doesn't need to be in here. This can go in storage, this can go in a banker's box. This is something that we need to keep for a little while, but it doesn't need to be in here, basically. That means that I am able to be far more particular about what's actually coming back in here and making sure that if it does, it is serving the space and me and the family in whatever way it needs to, since this is kind of a space that's used for a few different things. That's what I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to do right now. I think the thing that I'm most proud of is that I actually went through books, and not all of them. I still have to go through the books that are in this cabinet. The ones that were on all my open shelving, I went through those books and I made a huge pile of books to donate. because I thought, I have read these, I know I'm not going to pick them up and read them again, and they are books that I would like to, you know, allow somebody else to enjoy and read. And so I'm taking them to the Goodwill or to one of the other donation places in our local town here. I'm really proud of myself because books are something that I have a really hard time getting rid of, just because in my mind I want to be an old lady with like a parrot and cats and all kinds of animals and weird animals and like, I don't know, a monkey or something. I'm just kidding, not a monkey. And like a whole room that's a library. Like the whole thing is just a library of books. Like that's what I envision. So I never want to get rid of books. But the reality is, when the time comes, if that's the life I have, I'll just go buy a bunch of books at the used bookstore. I can't think about and try to keep and store things for 40 years from now. Let's keep going. I did pop inside and attempt to put just a smidge of makeup on and pull my hair up because I forgot that I have a call today. And sometimes these calls, I think it's just going to be a phone call and then it's a video call. And that's happened to me multiple times. So I'm just preparing myself in case it is a video call. Anyways, I brought out some little cotton rounds with alcohol on them because I thought I remembered that that's what takes like permanent stuff off of a whiteboard. We're gonna find out. Let's try it together. If not, I hope it doesn't ruin it. And also I have to be careful because I don't want it to take off my nails because I've been doing my gel nails at home with my little UV light because once again, I got tired of going to the nail salon. I went for like a few months. I just get tired of it. So I bought some gel nail polish to see if I did gel nail polish at home, if that would be like longer lasting than just painting my nails at home, which doesn't last very long. But anyways, this is neither here nor there. Let's try to clean this whiteboard. Oh, ho, ho. Yeah, baby. That is definitely gonna do it. I try not to get it everywhere so it doesn't make a mess. Ah, I'm on the carpet! Sometimes I am my own biggest problem. Ivy drew on this with a marker that wasn't a dry erase last night. I didn't realize it. Somehow the clip I filmed explaining why we were going inside just disappeared. I don't know. It just disappeared. Can't find it anywhere. I probably just didn't hit record, but I'm gonna pretend like I did and that it just disappeared. So we're going inside in order to go through that homeschool stuff and get that stuff organized so that I can go through the cabinet out here and decide what to bring in. It's always good for me to like piggyback the momentum of feeling like I'm being very like cutthroat about stuff. I'm just really well in the mindset of need to get rid of stuff. What am I using right now? What can be put away? Sometimes my brain just operates on like a higher level with this stuff and I need to just like lean in and keep going. So that is what I'm doing because Christopher took the kids to the splash pad. So there's no children inside of my house, and that is the best time to do stuff like this, especially for me when I know I have to kind of like make piles everywhere. It's just a good time to do that when I don't have a bunch of kids running around and coming and taking the books that I'm sorting and all of that. Oh boy. I might have bitten off more than I can chew in here today. It's been a couple days and it's not totally done. I mean, it's just flat out not totally done, which is fine because I still have to go through this bookcase, which is my next thing on my to-do list, is to go through that bookshelf or bookcase, because a lot of that stuff needs to go inside. But I feel like I lost 100 pounds, not literally, but figuratively. I feel like I lost 100 pounds. I have been stressing a little bit about other things related to like our homeschooling year and stuff. And it's so hard when you feel like I am old enough to know better. Like, I know what I need to do to fix this, but sometimes we know what we need to do and we still just don't do it. And I'm not entirely sure what that is. I'm not entirely sure why we sometimes like to just kind of like wallow in our own like pity party about stuff. Well, I got too much on my plate. And I think of myself as not the kind of person who likes to do that. But then I realize and look that I am doing that. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm using this sort of chaos around me as an excuse for why I can't do certain things, because it's just, well, I got to do this and I got to do that, and I can't because it's a mess in here. It's an odd thing about human nature, or maybe it's just me. Maybe you're thinking, I don't do that. That's just you. I know it's not just me, but maybe it is. I feel so much lighter. I look forward to coming out to my office and doing work out here because it is clean and tidy and easy. I can pop out here and do quick things that I need to do without it being a whole to-do, a hullabaloo, if you will. I've got my equipment that I need, and I love photography gear, videography gear, equipment and stuff. I have amassed a huge quantity of it over the years, and I was very, very careful this time to attempt to keep only the things that I'm actually using right now, not the things that I have that I think, well, I used to use that a lot and maybe I'll use it again, or the things that I bought for a project that I haven't started yet. Not that I got rid of those things, but I moved them to a storage area so that they weren't in here. I know that they exist. I know that I have them should I need them. And then I can, if after, truly with photography equipment and videography equipment, if after a year I haven't touched those things in the storage area, then I know I can get rid of them without missing them. And I'm a little bit more particular about that stuff because it does tend to be more expensive items, so I don't want to have to repurchase it. Anyway, so I just want to encourage you that if you are like me and sometimes, even though you know what to do, you know what would be the best thing to do in this scenario, you need to get rid of stuff, you need to, clean things out or whatever, but you're making excuses for yourself, don't do it. I promise the other side, it feels like this mountain that you can't climb. The other side of it is it's so freeing, and your brain is more clear, you think more clearly, and it really does allow you to be more productive with your time. But also for me, the creativity is still there. I tend to say things like, well, I like my space to have all my stuff and everything because it makes me feel really creative. But I don't need all the stuff. I just need a few things that are important to me, that matter to me. I don't need everything and all the things that I have amassed over the years as little trinkets and stuff like that. I just felt like I needed to sit down and kind of round this out a little bit, because I try to share with you guys as much as I can what is like actually going on in my life, what's on my heart in a positive way. So while I feel like the beginning of this, kind of starts out with I'm stressed, which is true. There's no sense in pretending like that's not a real part of life. I also want to show, I'm gonna do something about it. Here's what I did, and here's how it's worked for me and what it means to me. Because I don't want you to leave the video feeling like, good Lord, she made me more stressed out. Bless all of you type A people that follow me and watch my videos, if any of you are still left out there, because I have a couple of friends like that, and I know how much my nonsense and shenanigans stresses them out. By the way, I've decided that I need to make some like t-shirts or something with like tomfoolery and shenanigans and antics. I have like a little saying that I'm thinking. We'll see. We'll get to that someday. So I'm very proud of myself, and I just want to encourage you that if you are dealing with something, if you have ADD, ADHD, or anything that makes your brain function a little bit differently than other people's, and maybe, you know, sort of causes you to live in a way or make choices that don't really serve you very well in your life, that there are ways to circumvent that. There are loopholes, there are ways to get around that, there are ways to trick your brain, that you don't have to be a victim to that you don't have to allow that to rule your life. And like I said, it's cute and funny for memes and Instagram reels and stuff, and I definitely love the like feeling seen, but it's like you don't stay there, right? And so I think of it very similarly when it comes to feeling like you're sort of held down by the ways that your brain wants you to function and the ways that those kind of neural pathways are set and the things that just kind of happen automatically, that it's okay, you know, to acknowledge like, this is how I am, but I don't have to stay that way. I can make changes. I can do things to make my life better and to help me function well and in a way that serves me and my family, rather than just creating more chaos and anxiety for all of us. That's it. We went all over the place in this video. Not that you expected anything less. I know you didn't, but whew, we went all over the place in this one. I hope that you enjoyed this video. It'll be fun to look at the analytics of this video to see how many people unsubscribed. That is it for me today, y'all. Speaking of it, I gotta get back to it. I gotta get back to work. So I will see you guys again very soon.